Hello children, welcome back to my channel Online Physics Class by Niharika. So children, as you know that we are studying chapter motion and this is our third lecture on chapter motion. Okay, now today's topic is average speed. You already know what is speed. Speed is the distance traveled per unit time. Then what is difference between speed and average speed? Are they think both the things are same? Let us discuss. Speed is, as you already know, distance traveled per unit time. But what is the formula for average speed? The formula for average speed, average speed is equals to total distance traveled, total distance traveled upon total time taken. Okay, what is the formula for average speed? Total distance traveled upon total time taken. Now, what does it means? Suppose you are moving on a crowded road. Okay, you are moving on a crowded road. So, will your speed will remain uniform or constant throughout the journey? No, you will apply brakes. Okay, then in that case, what will happen? You will cover unequal distances in unequal interval of time. Suppose you covered first 5 kilometer in 2 hours, then next from A to B. Okay. Then next 15 kilometer in 4 hours, or you can say 5 hours. Okay. And next 20 kilometer you cover in, you can say 5.5 hour. Okay. Now A to B is the 5 kilometer distance you covered in 2 hours. Then B to C is the 15 kilometer distance you cover in 5 hours. And C to D is the 20 kilometer you covered in 5.5 hours. Okay, so what is happening? You are covering unequal distances in unequal interval of time. In that case, if I ask you what is the speed of the object? What is the speed of the object throughout the journey? So will the speed will remain constant throughout the journey? No. It means you must be moving. Suppose a person is moving from A to B. The road is very crowded. Okay. So he must be applying a brake. In that case, he is covering 5 kilometers in 2 hours. Okay. Again, the road is little bit crowded. He is covering 15 kilometers in 5 hours. And suppose he is covering C to D. Now road is less crowded and he is taking 5.5 hours. Okay. Now in that case, you can't calculate speed from A to D point in a single manner. In this case, you have to take a total distance traveled upon total time taken, which will give you a average speed of the object. Okay, you have to calculate the different distance traveled by the body divided by total time taken. That will give you the average speed of the body. Why we calculate average speed? Because when we move on a crowded road or a busy area, there we what happened, we apply brakes on our vehicles. Okay, and in that case the speed does not remain constant. Speed does not remain constant. Then what factor, how can we calculate the speed of the object? Speed of the object can be calculated by calculating average speed. In that case, what we have to do? In that case, we have to add total distance traveled divided by total time taken. Clear? I hope this thing is clear to you. Fine. Now, let us discuss a numerical based on average speed. Now, numerical is, children, okay. It is given that a car travels 30 km at a uniform speed of 40 km per hour and next 30 km at a uniform speed of 20 km per hour. Find its average speed. It is given a car travels 30 kilometer with a speed of uniform speed of 40 kilometer per hour, and he covers next 40 kilometers, sorry, and he covers next 30 kilometer with the speed of 20 kilometer per hour. Next 30 kilometer with the speed of 20 kilometer per hour. Okay, can you see the speed is varying? You have to calculate average speed. Find average speed. Okay. Now, for calculating the average speed, what is the formula? Total distance traveled upon total time taken. Total distance traveled upon total time taken. So, you have to calculate the total distance traveled upon total time taken. So, if we talk about first part of the journey, okay, that is when the person is covering 30 kilometer, that time the speed is 40 kilometer per hour. So in the first part of the journey, okay, let us say, since what is the distance given, 30 kilometer, and speed given 40 kilometer per hour, you have to calculate first time. Okay, time taken by the person to cover first 30 kilometer with the speed of 40 kilometer per hour. So since speed is equals to distance upon time, or time is equals to distance upon speed. Okay, so this implies time, let us say time t1. Okay, t1 is the first time period. T1 is equals to, what is distance? 30 kilometer. Okay, and what is speed? 40 kilometer per hour. Okay, so 0 0 cancel, kilometer kilometer cancel. It gives you 3 by 4 hour. This is your first time period. T1 is equals to 3 by 4 hour for the first 30 kilometer when the speed of the object is 40 kilometer per hour. Now let us calculate next 30 kilometer. Okay, let us calculate next 30 kilometer time taken by the object when the speed is 20 kilometer per hour. So again, speed is equals to distance upon time t2. Let us say time taken by the body is t2. So T2 is equals to distance upon speed. This implies T2 is equals to distance 30 kilometer upon speed 20 kilometer per hour. Kilometer kilometer cancel, 0 0 cancel, 3 by 2 hour. So T2 is equals to 3 by 2 hour. Okay. Now again I am reminding you, you have to calculate average speed. And what is the formula for average speed? Total distance traveled upon, okay, this total distance traveled upon total time taken. So total time taken for the, we have calculated time t1 for the first half of the journey, and we have calculated time t2 for the second half of the journey. Clear? So here, from here we can calculate the total time or not? Yes. Total time कितना हो जाएगा बेटा? Total time is equals to t1 plus t2. What is the value of t1? 3 by 4 hour plus 3 by 2 hour. Okay, what will be the answer? LCM will be 4. 3 hour plus 6 hour. That is 9 by 4 hour. 9 by 4 hour is the total time taken. Clear? I hope you have no doubt till here. Okay, where is our question? Yes, it is correct. 9 by 4 hour is the total time taken. So children, let me again recall you what we are doing. A object is covering 30 kilometer with the uniform speed of 40 kilometer per hour, and the next 30 kilometer with the uniform speed of 20 kilometer per hour. You have to calculate average speed. So average speed formula is total distance traveled upon total time taken. Clear? So total distance can be calculated easily. We can add 30 kilometer plus next 30 kilometer, but time was not given. So we have calculated time for the first half of the journey, that is taken as T1, and then we have calculated the time for the next half of the journey, that is taken as T2, and then we have added T1 plus T2, that is 9 by 4 hour. Okay, and what will be total distance? Total distance, I am rubbing this side. Total distance 30 kilometer plus 30 kilometer. How much? 60 kilometer. And total time, how much we have calculated? Total time T1, T1 plus T2, how much? 9 by 4 hour we have calculated. Therefore, average speed is equals to, now what is total distance? 60 kilometer divided by total time 9 by 4 hour. So this will become 60 kilometer into 4 upon 9 hour, that will become 240 upon 9 kilometer upon hour, that will become, you will divide it, that is 2, how much? 9 2s are 18. 9 2s are 18, then 26.6 kilometer per hour. Okay children, 26.6 kilometer per hour is the average speed of the body. I hope it is clear to you children. Okay, this is how you can calculate the average speed of the body. So if you want, you can take the screenshot also so that you can practice. Okay, now coming on the next question. Next question is little bit more complex. Okay, I am rubbing the board. Next question is saying, on a 120 kilometer track, a train covers first 30 kilometer at a uniform speed of 30 kilometer per hour. How fast must the train travel the next 90 kilometers so as to average 60 kilometer per hour for the entire trip? Now children, in this question, it is given that there is a track which is 120 kilometer. Okay, track is of 120 kilometer. What is the length of the track? 120 kilometer. And the average speed for this track is, a train travel with the average speed of 60 kilometer per hour. Clear? Now it is given that on a 120 kilometer track, a train travels first 30 kilometer at a uniform speed of 30 kilometer per hour. First 30 kilometer children, first 30 kilometer distance is traveled by a train with the speed of how much? 30 kilometer per hour. 30 kilometer per hour. Okay, and the next 90 kilometer, how fast must the train travel the next 90 kilometer so as to the average 60 kilometer per hour for the entire trip? Okay, the next 90 kilometer. Okay, next 90 kilometer distance, train travel with which speed? What should be the speed? Let us suppose x kilometer per hour is the speed of the train. Okay. Now what is given? Again, I am reminding you children, what is given in the question? It is given in the question that a train travels a railway track of length 120 kilometer with the average speed of 60 kilometer per hour. Okay, average speed means overall speed. It is not an individual speed at every, it is not a uniform speed, average speed. Okay, it is the overall speed of the train. Now, individually it is given that the train covers first 30 kilometer with 30 kilometer per hour. Now, what should be the speed of the train for the next 90 kilometer? What should be the speed of the train for the next 90 kilometer? Okay, so you have to calculate this speed for the next 90 kilometer distance. I hope you have understood the question. The length of the track is, a train travels a length of track 120 kilometer with the average speed of 60 kilometer per hour. This 60 kilometer per hour is for the entire track. Okay, and the train travels first 30 kilometer with the average speed, with the speed of 30 kilometer per hour, and next 90 kilometer speed you have to calculate. Okay, so what is given in the question directly? What is given in the question directly? It is given average speed is given and total length of the track is given. So we know the formula for average speed. Average speed is equals to total distance traveled upon total time taken. तो total distance traveled कितना हुआ? 120 kilometer. Okay. Total time we have to calculate. Total time taken we have to calculate. And average speed is given 60 kilometer per hour. Okay. So total time taken is equals to 120 kilometer divided by 60 kilometer per hour. Kilometer get cancelled. 0 0 cancel. 6 1s are 6 2s are. So total time taken by the train is 2 hours. Okay. I hope this thing is clear to you children. The total time taken by the train is 2 hours. So when the length of the track traveled by the train of 120 kilometer, during that time when the average speed was 60 kilometer per hour, so the total time taken by the train to cover this length of the track was 2 hours. Okay. Now, next thing, now let us calculate the time. Let us calculate the time taken by the train to travel first 30 kilometer. Time taken by train, and let us say, suppose this is equation 1. Total time taken 2 hours is equation 1. Now time taken by train for 30 kilometer. So since speed is equals to distance upon time, or time is equals to distance upon speed. So time is equals to, what is the distance traveled? 30 kilometer upon 30 kilometer per hour. Okay. I hope it is clear. Kilometer cancel, 30 30 cancel. Time taken is 1 hour. Clear? This is for time taken by the train for this 30 kilometer, first 30 kilometer journey. Okay, now time taken by train, time taken by train for next 90 kilometer. Okay, for the next 90 kilometer, when the speed is, what we have taken, speed of the body, speed of the object or train for 90 kilometer, when speed is x kilometer per hour. Okay, so there, since speed is equals to distance upon time, so time is equals to distance upon speed. What is distance here, children? 90 kilometer. And what we have assumed, speed was not given. We have taken speed as x kilometer per hour. X kilometer per hour. This cancel. So time is equals to 90 upon x hour. I hope it is clear to you. Clear? Now this is the next equation. Therefore total time कितना हो जाएगा बेटा for this whole journey, for 30 kilometer plus 90 kilometer, total time will be 1 hour plus 90 upon x hour. Clear? 1 hour plus 90 upon x hour. Okay, and let us say this equation as equation 2. Now, as you know that we have already calculated total time by average speed also, and that total time was 2 hours. And here also in other manner also we have calculated total time, that is 1 hour plus 90 by x hour. Okay, so what will be the total time? Total time, okay, total time we have calculated. Fine. Okay, what we have to calculate? We have to calculate the value of h, that is speed of the body for 90 kilometer per hour. Okay, so speed of the body, this is also the total time, and equation 1 is also the total time. So on comparing equation 1 and 2, both are total time. So can I make equal? 2 hour is equals to 1 hour plus 90 upon x hour. Okay. Okay, children. So it will become 1 hour is equals to 90 upon x hour. Okay. And it will become 90 upon x hour is equals to 1 hour. Okay. R cancel. So x is equals to 90 kilometer per hour. X is equals to 90 kilometer per hour. So this is the speed of the train when it is traveling or covering a 90 kilometer. So again, let me explain you this question. There is a track of 120 kilometer and train travels the track of 120 kilometer with the average speed of 60 kilometer per hour. Okay, this entire track was covered by the train with the average speed of 60 kilometer per hour. During that time, the first 30 kilometer of the track was covered with the speed of 30 kilometer per hour, and the next 90 kilometer speed was not given. So we have assumed like the speed for next 90 kilometer is x kilometer per hour. Clear? So first of all, we will find the things which are directly given in the question. What is given? Average speed is given. Okay, and total distance traveled by the train is given. So we can calculate total time or not? Yes. Average speed is equals to total distance traveled upon total time taken. Total distance traveled 120 kilometer. Average speed 60 kilometer per hour. So on calculating, we got total time as 2 hours. Okay. Now calculating time individually for 30 kilometer and 90 kilometer. So time taken by the train for 30 kilometer. Speed is equals to distance upon time. So time is equals to distance upon speed. Time is equals to 30 kilometer upon 30 kilometer per hour, and time is 1 hour. Now next, time taken by the train for next 90 kilometer. So speed is equals to distance upon time. Time is equals to distance upon speed. And we have taken speed was not given. This only we have to calculate. So we have assumed speed as x. On calculation, it becomes 90 upon x hour. Now total time will be 1 hour plus 90 by x hour. Now we know that we have already calculated total time 2 hours. So can we make equation on comparing equation 1 and 2? Both will become equal or not? Yes. So 1 will go on this side, 2 hour minus 1 hour will give 1 hour, 90 by x hour, or x is equals to 90 kilometer per hour is the speed of the body or train when it is covering 90 kilometer. So I hope children this numerical is clear to you. If you have any doubt, you can comment me, and this is our third lecture. Kindly watch full video. If you have any doubt, comment me. Thank you.